So you just listened to The Life of a Showgirl off Taylor's new album. I had to include it this week because it's about Kitty, and that's my nickname.
Kate Smith has been a Swiftie since the very beginning. But it wasn't until she was at a dive bar with her friend that the bartender suggested the two start a podcast. And that is how the Swift Talk was born.
Hello, and welcome to the Swift Talk. I'm Kate.
It was a Swiftie and a not-so-Swift Sam who I was trying to turn him into a Swiftie. And after, 4 years and 200 episodes, we realized that some people just can't become a Swiftie. He respected the process, he respected the work ethic, but the music just wasn't going to get him.
Instead of hanging up the mic, she turned her passion into a radio show where she plays Taylor's music and still gets to talk about Swift's latest moves.
Taylor does nothing by accident.
Turning her love for the latest Taylor lore into a source for all Swifties in the state.
Yeah, it's part of who I am. And so, to be able to, integrate it into my world, it's just little pieces.
If you wanted to hear more Taylor, just pop into the Swiftiest coffee shop on the Seacoast.
It's called The Wildest Dreams.
Taylor has been at the heart of what they do since its inception in 2021. They never miss a birthday, album release, or milestone, celebrating Tay the only way they know how, their signature coffee flights.
Ice it up. It kind of creates more of an atmosphere that's not just about coffee. It's just more than coffee. It's about sharing things that people love and celebrating Taylor's music with us. Cheers. Yeah, that's good.
She's done so much for us. She's gotten us through so many hard times.
In Miss Doobie's classroom at Lamprey River Elementary School, Taylor has a hand in just about every lesson.
As a kid, Taylor tried lots of different things.
Whether students are learning about Taylor at story time, celebrating her birthday on December 13th, or attending one of the school's most popular after-school programs, the Swiftie Club, Miss Doobie is teaching not only the next generation, but the next generation of Swifties.
So I think the really special thing about Taylor is that she's been able to stay timeless for so long, and she really shapes her image in a way that multiple ages of people can look up to her.
Connecting with her kids is easily her favorite part of the job. The second, never repeating an outfit during the school year. And getting to share her love of Taylor with her kids is icing on the cake. She's never met Taylor, but if she did,
I would say thank you. That's all I think I could say.
From my shows from Eras Tour.
Brie Benoit hasn't missed Taylor Swift on tour since 2010, and she had no intentions of missing the highest grossing tour of all time. But getting tickets to the Eras Tour, that great war, left her with bad blood.
We didn't get any because Ticketmaster. Boo.
It became a full-time job, working with friends, scouring online trading groups, but her hard work paid off, landing her with 17 trips to the Eras Tour.
It was the time of my life.
The shows brought her across the country and world. And to answer the question on everyone's mind,
I honestly don't know. I've never calculated it, so I don't know the total. But I'd never paid resale, which I'm very proud of.
Brie is a devoted fan and even sent Taylor an invite to her wedding. She's met Taylor twice and has the pictures to prove it, with and without her wife.
I always said that if I ever meet Taylor, I want a hugging photo, and she knew that. We hugged, and you know what? I knew that we were gonna be together forever. But what if we weren't? Bye. Crop, it's a perfect crop.
That is not just another picture to burn. Well, hello, WMUR's certified Swiftie, Kelly O'Brien, here at Gillette Stadium for Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour. I have been a Taylor Swift fan for as long as I can remember. I've dressed as her for Halloween, I've seen her several times in concert and traveled to new cities because of it, have been welcomed to New York with the unofficial Taylor Tour, and taken over theaters to watch her on the big screen. She's always felt like one of my best friends, despite her having absolutely no idea who I am. And never in my wildest dreams did I think this is where my career would take me. It is going to be an enchanted night and one for the books. We're in Foxborough. Kelly O'Brien, WMUR News 9. Taylor once said to remember this moment, and this moment, this community, is full of memories that Swifties will hold on to forevermore.